Hello, my name is Georgianne Ford with the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation. And returning to us today is one of our attorney mediators, Debbie Snyder. Welcome back, Debbie.
Thank you, Georgianne.
And Debbie, your topic today is going to be on how long does it actually take to get a divorce in Chester County, Pennsylvania?
Right. Correct. That's my topic.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Okay. So how long it takes to get a divorce is dictated by the Pennsylvania Divorce Code, right? And it's uniform throughout the entire state. Now, there are variations in how long particular counties may take to process paperwork, but the statutory requirements are set forth by the state. So within the no-fault provisions, which is typically what everybody uses these days, there are two categories. And the first category is a 90-day consensual waiting period divorce. So we call that for short consent divorce. And what happens is that both people are willing to proceed with a divorce. They're in agreement that they want a divorce. So one person, the plaintiff, and because this is no fault divorce, it doesn't matter which person is a plaintiff because there's absolutely no benefit or disadvantage to being the plaintiff. So one person is a plaintiff, they file a complaint, the other person acknowledges that they've received the complaint because the county and the state want to be sure that these two people do in fact know what's happening to them, right? So that step is important, that acknowledgement is important. And then the parties enter a mandatory 90-day waiting period. And that waiting period is, as I said, mandatory. There's no getting around it. You can't file at 89 days or 80 days. You have to wait 90 days. And on the
I was just going to ask Debbie, so that's after the papers have been, the plaintiff has filed the papers and the papers were delivered to the other party, then the 90 days starts?
Yes, when the second party, when the defendant accepts service of the complaint. So that means they've acknowledged they've received it. And 90 days then starts. So on the 91st day, both parties would be signing affidavits of consent. And it's a simple one-page document. It simply says, I'm consenting to this divorce. And the other document that is mailed along with that is what's called a waiver. And the waiver simply means that I understand this is happening and I'm waiving further notification. So in other words, at that point, both parties are acknowledging that, okay, this is happening and it's moving forward, right? Mm-hmm. And along with those consent forms and waivers, you can ask the court for the decree. So asking the court for the decree is simply another several documents, simple documents, and you're saying to the court, we've completed all the legal requirements for this divorce, please give us our divorce. And for our clients at the Alpha Center, we submit a marital settlement agreement, and most attorneys do as well. So at that point, at the final step, you're saying to the court, please give us our divorce. And incidentally, we have signed and settled our marital estate, and here it is in contract form. It's an agreement. So please accept this. And the court at that point will grant a divorce. So you never appear in court, you never go in front of a judge, and all of this can be done through the mail. And I frankly recommend clients send the documents. I mean, you don't have to go to the courthouse. Usually,
so how much time has passed? How much time does that take?
Okay, so a minimum of 5 months is what I tell our clients, right? The Alpha Center. Okay. So, there's two sets of documents that have to be filed before the 90 days starts.
Right.
And there's the two sets after the 90 days has expired. So you should really allow, under the best of circumstances, 5 months from start to finish. Now, the caveat is that that's the minimum amount of time. Bucks County, Montgomery County are very, very efficient. They move divorces through efficiently. Chester County, incidentally, is has been historically been taken more time, right? No one really knows the reason why. I think the pandemic didn't help. I think they, had a difficulty maybe adjusting to it. I'm not sure, but their Chester County divorces often take longer, but you can still get a divorce in Chester County. All right. Now the second category under no fault is for people who have been separated for more than a year, or in some instances, more than 2 years. And the process is basically the same as the consent, but you only have to wait 20 days for this category of divorce. So if you document that you've been separated for 1 year, you file the similar documents. A plaintiff files the complaint, the defendant acknowledges receipt of the complaint, and then you wait 90 days. You wait 20 days. And at the end of 20 days, again, you can move the court to give you your final divorce.
I have a question about that. So what if it's a couple's been separated for a year, say, but the one person is not agreeing to the divorce?
That category is where those people would fall. All right.
Okay. So I was wondering.
Okay. So if one party wants the divorce and the other party, for a variety of reasons, is reluctant, at the end of that 1 year separation, the moving party is going to be granted their divorce. All right. It's important to understand that there's not a judge sitting anywhere who's going to make two people stay married. All right. So if you happen to be a party who is, for a variety of reasons, doesn't want a divorce, you can wait a year. You'll have to wait a year, but the other party, the one that wants the divorce, will get their divorce. So that's one of the things I make clear if I have couples in mediation, a couple who comes into the office center and we have a reluctant party. I really try to explain to them that you can't really stop it. You can't.
That's why I asked, because I never do that.
Right. So I think people do believe somehow that if they're opposed to a divorce, they can stop it, but you can't, not really, not legally.
It's a time limit.
It is. Yeah, it's a time limit. And again, with the 20-day waiting period, you never go to court, you never appear in front of a judge. It's just all paperwork.
Helpful. So the Chester County piece, does it take we're looking at, does it take around the same amount of time, that second one where you've been separated for a year? Is that also like a 5 month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So helpful. Again, it's all statutory throughout the state and it's uniform.
So these are the two more common no-fault divorce options.
Correct.
Okay. Very helpful.
Yes.
And we now know it takes up to 5 months in Chester County. So Debbie, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Georgianne.
If any of you have questions about this, questions for Debbie, questions for the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation, please give us a call, 1-800-310-9085.